Good morning, team. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Almost there. Almost made it to the weekend. All right. So what am I going to say with that? You've had 4 days trading. Hopefully 4 nice green days. I've certainly had 4 nice green days. So what do we not want to do today? We don't want to give our week back. Okay. The last thing you want to do is end your week on a Friday breaking some rules, doing something stupid, because then you have to mull it over all weekend. It's the worst time to do it because you can't get back in the chair. So just be smart today. It's also the end of the month, right? So we have options expiring. You might have some new positioning, getting out of positions from hedge funds, etc., etc. So we're going to be smart. As always, we're going to start on the higher time frames and work our way down. All right, so starting on the daily chart. Now, I'm actually going to start on the weekly chart to give you just a quick reference of how far we've moved today and how bad our long position would be today. Boom. This is your weekly chart. This huge monster wick is where we opened. We're now 1,000 points higher from that open down here. Well, big flush down and then from the low, let's say. All right, so from Monday morning, Sunday night, we sold all this way. And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we've just gently gone all the way back up. All right, all the way back up. To where? To the gap. All right, we're into the new week opening gap, the cash gap from Friday's close, which is right up here, 21,900, in towards this open on the Sunday, 21,770. We've pushed through that overnight into this gap. We're starting to find a little bit of a struggle here. Now, the aim will be for this to close the gap. That would be the most efficient thing the market can do, fully close the gap. Doesn't have to do it today. Can do it next week. Remember that. We also have supply up here, which I'm going to go over very shortly on the hourly chart. All right, so just be aware of our positioning. Momentum since here has been upside. Is this location good? No, it's not good. All right, hedge funds who bought here, bought here, bought here, bought here, swing long, very, very happy. Do you want to be buying here? What's your risk parameter? Fail breakout, wash back down. All right, so you have to be aware of that. Moving into the hourly chart to have a look at what that might look like. Here's the hourly chart. Gray box is your gap. All right, you can see it right here. This is the gap. Open. I need to pull this down a little bit. Open into that close on Friday all the way up here. Now, technically, you could say that if we're not going to go to settlement, the gap is to 840s, 850s. If we're going to go to settlement, then the gap's all the way up to 900, 910. In this gap, all right, we have this low. We went over this yesterday. I did a quick lesson basically on this yesterday. Up here, buyers trapped, buyers trapped, buyers trapped. Looking for that breakout, never came. Buyer's pain point was here. We gapped down. So every buyer in here has been stuck for at least a week now. All right, so if they haven't already exited on this huge flush down, when we return back in, they become supply, all right, because they have the chance to get out break even when we come back into here. So this is strong supply. You don't really want to be long in here, all right? The longs from all week were all the way down here. Long dips, long dips. This is what we were taking yesterday for rotation back up. Up here, the danger of the longs, again, is a failed breakout and a violent wash back down. Need to be aware of that. So today we have to think about structure. It is not the ideal location to be buying, but momentum is most definitely for the upside. So if we're going to build some form of flag for a back test, maybe of this flat top that we broke out from yesterday, maybe we can think about a long off that. All right, maybe off somewhere into 700s. If we fail that 700, where are we going to come to? Well, we have an old point of control and a midpoint afternoon yesterday. So yesterday we dipped down all the way down here. If you traded with me yesterday, you'd be well aware of this move. Okay, on Thursday, this dip down 11 o'clock, and I've done an anchored view up off this dip down. This anchored view up comes right up to the point of control around 600. So if the market wants to wash this first level and not have buyers show up here, it's going to come down towards 600 for a back test. It's an area where I would consider, if this gets absorbed, or some bullish structure for a rotation back up. Ideally, we just hold into this 700 this morning. A flush into here, some bullish pattern, this kind of move here, and then runners for the rest of the day. All right, that would be very, very nice. If we start letting go, do not keep trying to buy dips, right? If it starts wanting to roll and roll and roll and roll, don't just keep buying dips. You will get yourself hurt. Like I said, think about that weekly candle. We're right at the top of that weekly range. So very aware of failed breakouts, looking for dips into 700 and sort of 600 to hold. If they start to fail, if momentum starts to look very, very heavy, we're going to think about possible downside pressure. If we just rip straight higher this morning up here and we start to form consolidation here, then I'm going to be thinking about if it's going to form this on the higher time frame. Now, it doesn't mean it uses this today to break out upside. It could just consolidate here and we can do that move next week. That is definitely a possibility. That will be a move back towards the top Bollinger Band, right? If we go back towards the daily, that would be consolidation up here for a move back towards a top Bollinger Band and a breakout of this. Also, next thing to consider, SPY came right into its supply block, right? SPY already filled its gap, right, into sort of 125s, 130s. We already filled the gap. We came into 130 this morning. If SPY and ES want to start driving higher, it's going to need to get over 135. That will take it for a move up to 6,162. That will be all-time highs, right? That will be all-time highs. So let's just think about that, see how it wants to operate. Why are we gapping up this morning in the markets? Well, Apple had pretty good earnings, although it had some pretty big misses, right? If you watched it, if you read the report, they missed on iPhone sales, declining iPhone sales, declining home stuff, declining wearables, where they got the beats, and declining in Asia. They missed by 1 or 2 bill in Asia, I can't remember. Where they got the beats was really just in the laptops and the computers. All right, so we have to see how we operate there. VIX currently trading in the 15, still right on that old demand block. 1522s, 1525s, that old demand block. Can still remain to trade sideways. Looking at the Mag 7, let's have a look. Apple gapping up, all right? Yesterday, it closed at around 130, 139, 140, gapped all the way up to 148. It's found some resistance up there, but it's looking pretty good. Microsoft gapping up as well. It's looking to base above. It will need to base above 417. Amazon gapping up as well. That's looking to base above that afternoon session, 236. Google gapping up as well. It's same thing, looking to base above yesterday's IB high. Meta gapping up. It is just in a range though. Remember, Meta's been on an absolute tear. It's in a range. Nvidia gapping up, looking to try and hold its gains. 125, going to be key for that. And Tesla not gapping up, all right? Tesla trading sideways still, stuck at its VWAP right now. That 400 remains the level. Still in a range from 412 to really 384, right? So midpoint of that range. So we're just going to wait and let this shake out a little bit today. See how the market wants to operate. I'm very, very aware that we're really, really high again on that weekly range. I'm bullish. Right, I'm bullish in terms of momentum. I don't love the location. So what I'd love to see is dips be absorbed in this session. Looking at the 5 minute as well, just quickly, we've got plenty of time, 5 minutes left. So we had yesterday, in towards the close, you had this shakeout, right? This shakeout is the option shakeout, all right? This is all Apple and the options affecting the move, all right? Absorbed, and then we had the Apple pump. This pump here, that's the Apple pump. Back towards the highs. Breakout of yesterday's high of day. Created consolidation in Asia. Sideways, sideways, sideways. Here's your flag. Breakout upside. Rinse, repeat. Breakout upside. Now we're trading sideways. So we have to watch London high. We're watching that 800 level, 810. If we start to let go and a back test of the Asia low, that's 681. That's yesterday's key level. Let's remove some of these. You think about where we found resistance all week, this would be an RBS level, this blue box, resistance, resistance, resistance. We want this to hold as support for that rotation. If it fails to hold, then we're going to go next level down. Anchored VWAP, point of control. And if we fail here, then these are low-hanging fruit trades all the way down here. Rotation, take the stops, take the stops. Possible. What I'd like to see, this, all right? Or this, something like that would be pretty nice on a Friday. That'd be pretty nice. Let's not do that. All right, so that's the game plan. That's what I'm looking for. Watching these zones, watching to see if we get patterns in these zones, watching to see how the market opens. Does it give a big morning flush that is completely absorbed for an upside rip? Does it give a big morning push into supply, find sellers, fail breakout and a rotation down, or are we going to go into a grind day? All right, so those are the kind of things I'm looking at. I will know more once we open. I want to see how the mag open, how we operate. Again, I cannot say this enough. Look at the weekly. We are all the way up here right now. This was your low of week. 1,000 points higher. Is this location good? Not really. We're going to do a breakout, sure. But more probable it's going to do that next week. Doesn't mean it can't do it today, just more probable to do it next week. So just be smart, all right? You just have to be smart in terms of your location today. Sort this out for you so you can see it nicely on stream. Okay, so starting to try and do some kind of curl here early on in the morning. All right, ideally we come down here first before doing this, but if we're going to hold previous day highs, red line, then maybe we're going to do this move. Remember, your ATR still super, super high. All right, expecting 200, 300, 400 points easily today. Don't do anything stupid. Right, that's what I always tell myself on a Friday. I'm up very nicely on the week. Do I need to do something stupid? No. Very simply, I do not need to do anything stupid today. I need to be smart with how I'm going to trade. Just sorting out my levels on the QQQ, looking for the ETF levels in case it wants to do that morning dip. Same on the SPY. Just making sure I've got my levels in correctly. Need one more in here. All right, so every morning, all I do, draw out my boxes, levels that I'm interested in operating from, and then I have to wait to see if price wants to come to those boxes before I think about doing anything really, unless there's a big, big momentum play coming to the market. But remember, we are bullish. Overall, we're bullish. We've been making higher highs and higher lows on that hourly and every chart underneath that for a move back up to this gap fill. We're in the gap now. All right, we're now in that gap. Question is, can it fill it? Let's get through some chats. A couple more seconds left. All right, good morning, Noah, Exister, Miguel, Jeff, Ramus, Idris, Jonathan, TR, Array, Christy, Thumper, Mindful Matters, Asa, Andrew, Marek, Minix, John, Gary, Peter, Myron, BU. Good morning, everyone. Gary, in general, I trade to liquidity. There's not like a general point. Normally looking in this kind of market, 50, 60 points plus ideally. I don't love risking more than 20 points, 20, 30 points in this market. Sometimes you have to risk more right now. The ATR is large, so there is no normal. Normal is whatever the chart requires based on where the liquidity is. I'm not looking to like risk 5 points to make 10. That's not how I trade. I'm looking to trade to and from liquidity pools. So nice gap up in the morning. Apple 3.5% up. Microsoft 0.75% up. Amazon 1.2% up. Market very bullish here. Google almost 1% up already. Meta almost 1% up. Nvidia 0.75% down, and Tesla 0.2% up. So most of the market up other than Nvidia. Nvidia is the lagger here in this morning. Remember, Apple with a big gap up. Yeah, smash that like button, please, team. Let's do it early, and then I don't have to say it any longer. So here's the drive already, looking to take out that London high. Not in this, but that flag we just talked about before the open, that curl starting to play off VWAP. They're looking to take this out and bids above here to go and close that gap and tap into supply. Remember, supply overhead. You have to be aware of those buyers on the daily timeframes, on the hourly timeframes that are trapped overhead right now. This is a monster push up already this morning off the open. There you go. They're just squeeze, 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 squeeze. No real way to get involved in this unless you bought this flag that we talked about before the open. Ideally, I wanted this to operate down here. Well into that gap now. Taking out London. Remember, supply starts at sort of 850. You need to be smart. We are closing that gap. If we're not closing settlement, if we're just closing into this higher time frame where we broke down from, 843 will be the gap close. If we're closing into settlement, 900s, 910s will be the gap close. Do you want to be a buyer in here? Not really. You would need to see structure like this for a rotation up. Otherwise, it is going to be problematic. There are big buyers trapped there. You do not want to be buying high on this session. Zoom out on the daily, on the hourly. These guys have been trapped, like I said, for over a week. Over a week trapped up there. I do not want to be buying into them. So if some of you took that long for that flag and curl break, there's your buy signal. And that was a beautiful move early in the session. You can be one and done. Get off on your Friday. What was that? How big was that move? Almost 100 points. You're done. You made your money. You can walk away. Right, ES failing to take out the highs there. SPY failing to take out the highs. QQQ, NQ sweeping and clearing out the highs. So you have divergence on that trade. Big divergence on that trade. So the question now is, does ES and SPY hold its VWAP? How far does Apple want to get going, I guess, is a big question here. Like, can they really get going? Or was this the start of a failed breakout? Looking for that gap fill. This was basically gap fill. Does it do a failed breakout and a big rotation? You have to be very cautious of that. We talked about it earlier. I do not want to be buying up here. Ideally, I wanted a back test of these levels first. If we clear out and start to fade, I'm going to be very cautious. Watching the market here. No trade for me yet. If you took that flag, congratulations. That breakout, very clean. I'm guessing Idris got it. We just sit here now. Sit and wait. Can we build liquidity? ES coming for a back test of VWAP. SPY already underneath its VWAP. We can put in a New York open print as well. Let's do that before I forget. The momentum is upside. Location is not great. That's basically where we're at right now. New 5-minute bar coming, and then you can think about your 5-minute opening range breaks if you're playing those. It's trying to hold London here. It's trying to hold that London high here for a continuation. It wants to build the flag. The problem is this is a big squeeze out early and you have overhead supply. Let's talk about what's on the book. I haven't really talked about that today. There is a seller up at 900, 120 lot up there, and a little bit of selling up at 940. Before we get to him, they are stacked selling. 835, 840, 845, 850, 855. All right, all of those guys, where are they? Here. They're in the start of this supply that we talked about this morning. I don't want to be a buyer up into that. I will buy if we get through them and base and build some liquidity out. I'd much rather be a buyer on dips this morning if it can trap shorts. The fact that we've done a failed breakout, though, doesn't make me filled with confidence to think about dips for the rest of the day. So just going to wait here. Completely flat on the session. Haven't touched a thing yet. Back to VWAP now for the ES. Does NQ want to do the same? Is it going to hold previous day high and New York open? If it doesn't, it's going to come back down to this liquidity pool lower. We're trading right now back to point of control. All right, so big push so far, which has failed effectively. Question is, how deep do they now take this? We can back test. Remember, on the hourly, we've talked about it. This blue box can be a back test of where we broke out from yesterday. Do we hold the top of this range on the gap? That's the other question. Lots of possibilities here this morning. All right, but remember, if you're buying this morning, you're buying very high on that weekly range. For me, I'm looking for dips back down into here and for some bullish structure. I'm not fading this yet because this is inside of all this range that we've created overnight. I don't want to get caught in chop trying to fade this. So most of the market nice and green other than Nvidia. Nvidia almost 1% down. So little retracement off VWAP here. Is it going to soak VWAP or does it need to come test previous day high where we bounced off this morning? Or this liquidity pool down here. Remember, this liquidity pool down here easily seen on the higher time frame right here. All right, that's this guy right here. Resistance, 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 breakout. Do we come back into this? I need to try and see if it's a back test for buyers to get involved. So far, holding VWAP. So far, holding VWAP. So far, holding these sessions. Holding New York. Yeah, bounce off New York. New York is basically at VWAP right now. So maybe a two-leg pullback. Maybe we go deeper. Time will tell. Tons of liquidity on the book today. There's a big buy down at 600. All right, that is that pull that we talked about. So just watching here to see if this pullback is going to soak off VWAP. 600 would be right down into this next block. Big buyer down there, looking to absorb if we get a flush down there. Strong here from SPY. Remember, SPY hasn't cleared out its highs yet. Still very early in the session. Very, very early. Want to see if we can trap more sellers before I think about going back up for that top. Again, would love to be a buyer today, but do not want to be a buyer at the highs of the week. On the wrong chart for you, aren't I? Still absorbing nicely here. ES having another crack. SPY having another crack right at its VWAP now. It needs to build and trap some shorts if it's going to have a chance of taking out that pre-market high on the ES. You need to see Apple reclaim 125, that sort of whole number. You want to see the market really start to push together, which you're not getting. Remember, most of the market's gapping up. So you have to see if it's going to do a pullback and absorb. If it's going to do a gap fill to the downside, all longs are off the table. We're in no man's land right now, in my opinion. We are holding that New York Open. But we're not at that supply above, and we're not at the really good structure down here and even lower. We're just dancing around inside the London and Asia session right now. The book's starting to thin out a little bit here. So now we've got, they're like 25 and 10 lots stacked, 8, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. It's probably the same player all the way up, and he gets larger in size as he goes all the way up to 55s. 80 lot at 55s. Some bidding down here underneath 750. Right, much, much lower on the bids. So watching to see if they flag break this, fall that squeeze up, or if they just let this go. Really would love to see a better trap than just like squeeze right up here. That would be the worst trade of the day here if they just squeeze it up, to be honest. Watching these guys stack up together in like a 25-point range here. When you say thin, as that trader's removing or already filled, it just means there's not much liquidity there. Doesn't mean they've removed or been filled. It means there's nothing there on the book. It's thin on the book. The book would be thick, like it is from 825 up to 860. It's thick. It's stacked full of sellers, dum 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 dum, all the way up. That's a thick book. Thin book, as if there was nothing from now all the way to 60, right? You'd say it's thin, or if it was very light on orders. Morning, Leron. Like I said, I'm not joining this for the long, even though this can build here, that inverse head and shoulders. This is not the trade that I want. I do not want this to come straight up into here, which is feeling very probable right now, but it's an ugly, ugly trade in terms of RR for this early on. Back into supply here again on the ES and failing. Right, this is better. I don't want to be buying up there. Really, I'm not interested in buying up there. Yeah, price definitely a little slower today. I mean, it's got to digest everything that's happened. All right, we have had a big week. Remember, 1,000-point gap down into Monday open, and we've grinded back that whole 1,000 points into Friday. All right, so we spent Sunday, Monday, 1,000-point gap down, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the way back up to Friday open into the gap, and now it has to digest. You have to ask yourself, if you've been a bull, if you're a hedge fund, are you buying today? Probably not. Probably not. Why would you be buying today when we're 1,000 points higher? You've been buying all week. Doesn't mean you have to sell, but are you adding to your position when we're 1,000 points up? The only time I can see them adding to their position if it gives it a good reason to get a cheap long with some good structure. That's why I don't want to be buying high up here. I'm not interested in buying high up here today. The value has gone. Right, we're right by supply. We are in the gap. Last thing I want to do is buy up high and get caught in a 1, 2, 3, 400 point flush. Morning, Sloth. So I'm glad to see this is fading, because the last thing I wanted to do is be forced to try and chase this up. This is not what I want to see. I want to see it lower first. Even if it's just coming back to VWAP and puts in like a double bottom and holds here. Watching ES. ES and SPY cannot break through that pre-market high. Yeah, news at quarter two. You're very, very right. I don't think it was PMI though. Is it Chicago? It's a different. Let me have a look. Oh, I got this wrong. You might be right. You might be right. Yeah, PMI business barometer. You're right. So yeah, news. Well done, Sloth. We give this a minute to shake out and we get that news print. No trades for me yet. Just sat here waiting. ES, SPY keep rejecting supply levels. They cannot get through the pre-market high that they've put in. They cannot get through that London high. It's very possible, Noah, that we have a range day. I would doubt it. I would say it's unlikely it would just hang around in a very tight range. The ranges have been 200-300 points this week. So I'd feel like it's more likely to give a good range if it's going to do it. Just like yesterday, we had a range yesterday until we broke out in the late afternoon. Just rotation. So this inverse head and shoulders, they're trying to play it out. No interest in playing this into news. Book's still thick. Not many people have left the book here, so they don't really care about this PMI, it seems, right now. All those sellers just stayed on the book up there at 830 to 860. They're not really interested in this print at all. They don't care. Biggest buyers on the book down at 750. And the biggest guy on the book is all the way down at 600. 200 lot there. Remember that buyer down at 600, that is yesterday's point of control and around the anchored VWAP from the lows yesterday. So those in Discord, we went over it. Those at the beginning of this show, we went over that move. I'm also happy not to take a trade today. If it's not going to give me a setup, that's fine on a Friday. Not forcing my way into a market. Those who trade Apex is back on sale, 80% sale. I think it's 10-day sale or something like that. Flash sale, they're calling it, but I think it's about a week. You can use code FZT at checkout. That'll get you 80% off, or you can click that link that Nightbot just posted. They're continuing to range here. Momentum remains bullish, but the SPY can't get going. All right, SPY cannot get going yet. Quick look at Apple. Apple giving back a lot of its gains here. All right, Apple opened up the day towards 428. It's now all the way down at 240. So opened up at 248. It's now down at 240. It's going to come and back test its area of like, so at 242, it needs to back test 240. That's the breakout from yesterday. So it's doing a breakout retest type play here on Apple. Right, so does it drift lower, drag the market down with it, and then find some buyers in there? That's the question I'd be asking. Still trying to build out this flag and liquidity. Small range so far in this session, 73 points. Still above all the VWAPs. SPY just about above VWAP, QQQ above its VWAP, ES above its VWAP, NQ above its VWAP. Does it need a deeper pullback? Apple now 241.60. So the question is, does it need to back test that 240? If it needs to back test that 240, it might drag the market down back into that 700 level. Here's another attempt to move higher. This is another attempt to chase through to high of day, and then for a squeeze out, it would need to give back through supply through 840s for that move higher here. So this is market trying to get chasers to come in. Now, it might squeeze it, but I'm not interested in these plays today. I need something where I know sellers are trapped. Even if it needs to do this and base to go, I do not want to chase market up today. It's the type of play that will get you trapped. Good hold there on Apple. Never even retested. Market seems very bullish here. It seems like it wants to go for an expansion here. But just have to remember what's above us. All those sellers here. 40s, 50s, 60s, all stacked up. And then a move into 900 as possible. Yes, SPY having one more attempt at that pre-market high. Remember, on the Qs, we've already cleared it out. We have already cleared out pre-market high on the Qs. Feels like it's ready to get going here. Do they just slam this, though, as we come into those sellers? Remember, all those sellers are up overhead right now. You can see them on the book here. They start at 40s, end at 60s, and then a little bit of a gap all the way up into 900. The sellers coming back in. Same level, over and over and over again. ES couldn't do it yet again. Cannot do it. Cannot get over those levels. Failing again there. Cannot get over its pre-market highs. So this will need to build liquidity here now. If it cannot do that, a rotation and a sweep becomes very probable. Structure is still bullish. I'm not looking for the short. I'm saying it needs to hold these levels. It can't do that for the grind back up into here. If ES keeps rejecting up here, if Apple can't get back up to 45s, this rotation becomes more and more probable. The more time it fails, the more time that rotation becomes probable. No, I'm not short counter trends. Like, there's nothing in structure-wise, even though I'm saying I'm not bullish, it's not like we've done a clear shift, right? This is still bullish, right? Dum, 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 dum. It needs to get to this part and be backside for me to want to fade it. Even if it starts failing, that would be going against rules. Yeah. Back to VWAP again here on the SPY or on the ES. SPY under VWAP. QQQ coming back towards its VWAP. Very tight range here. So they didn't even fill all those sellers. They only filled that first lot into 25s and 30s. Never got up to 50s and 60s. Like we said, 50s and 60s still on the book. They're still looking to get filled. Market might not give them a chance to get filled up there. This is where they need to hold. Buyers will need to hold these levels for a potential squeeze, just like this. This is what I'm watching. Can they hold this for the potential squeeze out? If ES doesn't join in, though, the chance of this working becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. But flow zones for now are holding. Apple now reclaiming 43s. Precarious position. We know there's a ton of supply overhead. Very, very hard to get involved in these sessions. Joining this very small size here. I'm very cautious buying up here. I do not love buying up here. Tiny size. Tiny, tiny, tiny size for this squeeze out. Watching for a squeeze through 40s. There we go. Bang. Taking some off there, as you can probably hear. Now asking the question, can we expand through the 60? Remember, we've got sellers 60, 65, and then room to 900. And then I'm thinking we get very thick, or we should get thick on the book from 850 to 900, even though it doesn't show that. We should get restacks. Here they come. So they're starting to restack up here now. A seller's starting to come onto the book. Remember where we are location-wise, all right? That was, like I said, I'll buy this if I feel like shorts are trapped in here, which I did. So I absorbed this for this move. I'm already out into here. I'm not re-adding up here. Not right now. Not into supply. Questioning now, can we go for that full gap fill? Full gap fill. I mean, we've already gone wick to wick into 43s. That's wick to wick. If we're going to do a full gap fill, I'm looking for a move to 900, 910. And if we're going to do a full gap fill, that's where we're going to go to. Top of that red box. And top of the grey box. Grey box is gap fill. This is supply, really. Once we get through that, we have then room to trade up to 978 and then an old point of control to 22,010. Looking good here now. So sufficient amount of shorts have been trapped in this move here, like we talked about. Once they were trapped, I was happy to join. Small size, though. Why small size? Because the likelihood of it working becomes less. My risk to reward is not amazing here unless it really gets going. Like I said, not interested in the shorts up here. Only time I'd be interested in the short is if we do a fail breakout, a clear failure, a shift on structure, and I think buyers are trapped. Right now, there's nothing to say that. Momentum remains bullish in the market. Multi-time frame bullish. We are into supply. It's not ideal location, but momentum remains bullish. Structure remains bullish. Do. No reason to short. Shorts are going to get blown out here. So obeying the chart in front of us, just like we talked about yesterday, we obey the chart in front of us. So there's the move into 60s, high 60s. ES having another crack here. Still hasn't cleared out ES or SPY. SPY right up to pre-market highs. If we can get over 608 on the SPY, it's got to move to 610 possible. So lovely here. Anyone that took that long, you should be making sure you're paying yourself a bit of money. You are in supply. You are in supply. You must be paying yourself some money in supply because it can fail. Ultimately, we'd love this to squeeze up to 900. That would be amazing, but it doesn't have to do anything. We haven't even back tested sort of 825, 830 yet. Nice Peter Curry. So jumping through, remember we broke out from here. It might want to backtest this at some point. If buyers hold this, then it's got a chance to go higher. If we start failing in this range, this is where I'd be cautious about this liquidity move. Because you have buyers, buyers, buyers on this trend. If it can't hold this, this is the kind of time where we get stuck. Or big expansive move and a quick fail back down, leaving buyers chasing up here. That's the other possibility. So far, we look pretty good. It's holding well. And we've got a new hourly candle coming in 3.5 minutes. Just think about where you are. I'm going to keep reminding you today. Think about where you are in terms of structure, right? This is where the buyers got trapped last week. We don't want to really buy up here. That's why we were buying this for this move. Now we wait. If it can do something like this and based for a next move up, great. But it can easily do this, all right? And we would still remain bullish multiple time frame from this move. This would be a back test for a rotation higher next week. So just be smart. Don't be the guy chasing and chasing, chasing. Even if it works out for you, you are going to train yourself into some bad habits. Structure, we're going to wait for structure. We're away from the flow zones right now. We are away from this structure right now. We don't want to be buying up here when we know it needs to backtest at least this level. If it fails this level, it can start washing and attacking those stops. Because remember, we've filled the gap and we're into higher time frame supply. So the last place you really want to be buying is in that red box. So here we go, back testing where we broke out from. Do these sellers become buyers? ES and SPY have failed to take out the highs yet again. Like I said, the people having the most fun in this market are the swing traders who are buying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Why would they be buying today up here? They don't really need to buy today up here. This would just need shorts to be trapped for it to drift higher. Here's your back test of those key levels of the flow zones. Does it hold for a new squeeze up, or do we get that deeper wash down now? I'd say failure to hold. Well, technically 807, but really you wouldn't want to see it come that low, I would say. If you're a buyer on the tape here, you'd want to just see it hold and squeeze. Liquidity, both sides of this tape now. It's a little bit ugly, is how I would say, would call it right now. A little bit ugly. This is the back test right here. They're trying to, buyers are trying to hold this up. Oh, come on, let me draw it. Buyers are trying to hold this level up. Why this level? RBS. We talk about it every day. Resistance becomes support, all right? This is where we broke out from. It's where sellers were stuck. Can they backtest, squeeze, flag, go? And that's back into flow zone. So you see the difference of buying back into here versus buying up here. Wait for this to get this move. Now partial out here, and anything above is nice, easy profit, isn't it? There you go. But ES having one more attempt at that high. No worries, Gary. All right, so you got a double top up there. NQ will want to take out these guys up here. It will want to squeeze higher. ES is looking for a continuation higher as well. Squeeze can be on here. If the ES gets going, this squeeze can be on. It's a big if right now because it's been showing an unwillingness to do it. If it can get going, that move to 900, 910 becomes more and more possible, just like this. Here we go. Locking a little bit more in here, just in case we don't make it all the way there. SPY now above its pre-market highs, watching in case it does a failed breakout here. SPY needs to hold 608. It's that simple. SPY's got to hold 608. I would like to see ES breakout. Hasn't done it yet. ES has got a breakout of 130 and base above 130 for that move into 135s. Here goes the market. So like we said, move up to 900, 910. I'd be scaling out, if you're in this, scale out some position for this squeeze up into 900 and 910. This is the full gap fill up there. Anything above that, we are going to think about a new position, if it holds, or a failed breakout. We are not going to add in here hoping. All right, so partials out for these squeezes up. Remember today, we took this dip long for this move, this for this move. We are not buying up here. Look where flow zones are. Where is structure? It's down here. We are not buying up here. Even if it drifts higher, you should be in a partial for this move. You should have been in earlier and holding the runner for that move. Hopefully that makes sense for everyone. Or just ignore me and trade how you want. That's also okay. I'm here to help, but you can, hey, if you want to buy this, that's fine. Just not how I trade. Should always say that. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just teaching you how I trade. Oh, I'm sorry, Arai. Sorry, dude. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, guys. All right, so approaching that 900 like we talked about. 910 is the full gap fill. ES going for it as well. So nice breakout now. SPY looking good. ES looking good. So 35s is, or 34.50, 35s is your level on the ES. I'd be taking some profits into that move. Here comes the 900. Taking a little bit more there. Now looking for that move into 910 to fill the whole gap. Top of this grey box. Going to move this supply block now because we've chomped through it. So now we're looking for top of this grey box, 910. Oh, that's good to hear, Gary. Good to hear. Yeah, you would have become the liquidity for this move. That's that was the game today. Could they trap shorts to get this move up? Because they don't want to be genuine buyers in this. They want shorts trapped. Lovely, Jeff. So almost there, very close for a full gap fill here. If I've got that done right into that bar close, I think we're actually there. I think it's technically it's an 07. Let's just get this nice and tight. Right, yeah, look at that. Based on the hourly, we're right there, right there. So gap has been filled. So what you need to remember now is we've just recovered that whole move, that whole panic move where everyone was like, the market's over. New lows coming. It's the end of the world. Well, it isn't. Funny what 4 days and 1 hour of trading can do. Previous week close here. Yeah, that's what the gap fill is basically, Jonathan. So we're closing that whole move on the weekly. Which one have I just moved? This right here. Tapping into this. Yeah, so 11s. Whatever it is, top of this grey box, that's the gap fill. Right, so huge wick on this week, all the way down to these lows, absorbed all the way back up. So smart money took the longs under here. Thanks very much. Trap all the shorts. Now, if we base over here next week, we have possibility to go for all-time highs. Do we want to be long up here? No, we flipping don't. We do not want, when I say do we want to be long, do we want new longs? Do we want to be buying long up here? No. No new money longs up here. All right, you're up from where we talked about it, about 100 points, 90 points. Remember we said over this, if we can get over this and pull back, I know shorts are stuck. There's their stuck, there's their pain, boom. Come back into their pain, boom. Now we're just waiting to see if we can get continuation. I'm not adding any more size to this right now. The risk parameter for this to fail gets bigger and bigger the higher up we drift. The market, in my opinion, the market's objective was to fill that gap, which we've done. Anything up here is a bit of a bonus. If it wants to go turbo today and do that, that's fine. Absolutely fine. Lovely, Camille. Yeah, so everyone let me know who took those longs with me. 2 nice longs there. I gave you the reason and explanation. I told you why I'm not short in this market. Didn't come all the way down to the blue box, so we had to wait for them to trap shorts. Once we got them significantly trapped in the market, it became a bit easier, especially once ES started to participate with us. All right, so drop me a W in chat. Oh, wow, loads of you now in chat hitting that. So Peter Curry just has the runner left. Jeff, you saved my ass already. I was short, but I covered for a small loss. Good work. Jeff with the W. Peter Curry all out into 900. Lovely work, mate. Fantastic work. That's every day you turn up here, you're killing it. Jonathan, nice, yeah. Vanderman, don't worry. It's just one trade, mate. Nice work, Thumper. TP2 hit, Camille, good work. Steve C with the win. Peter Curry with the win. Jonathan with the win. Priska with the win. Aid with the win. Jonathan sitting on my hands up here, resisting the urge to guess a top. Yes, do not be guessing tops, all right? If they want to drift this higher, 1, 2, 3, 400 points for the rest of the day, they can do it. Do not be guessing the tops. Mindful Matters with the W. Leron, yes, sir, done for the day. 1 step closer to passing the combine. Good work. Sloth, nice win on the long. TR just observing. Jeff, 848 to 900. There you go. Over 50 points. Banger. Miguel, small W got stopped out, tight stop loss. No worries. Jack Huckins, F this one up. Don't worry about it, buddy. Scotty, Friday flow zone. Viewers keep growing. Yeah, we're growing slowly but surely. The more people turn up and realize that I'm calling out winners and keeping them out of trouble every day, the more that the stream will grow. I don't think we've had a loser this week. We're definitely green every day, but I don't think we've even had a loser. We might have had 2 break evens on Wednesday when I was frustrated, but we caught winners every single day this week. Nice and easy today. Bang, bang. Thanks for your money. We're out. Once these shorts were cooked, once we knew they were trying to force this down and we weren't going to let them out, this became probable. Gap fill done. Objective of the market done. We don't need to think about anything else right now. Let the market do whatever it wants now. That's good to hear, Scotty. Nice Aaron and Taylor with the W as well. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's very hard to buy high, which is why I was saying I would much rather be a buyer in one of these pools down here today. But the signature was here for me, all right? Once we did drive, fail, held VWAP, held New York open. Okay, so they want to hold the open. This I still didn't trust. I wasn't fully trusting of this. But once we did this move here, I was like, okay, well, shorts are in here. Here's their pain. So as long as we were holding dips in here, then we could squeeze out these shorts. Here was move 1, squeeze them out. Exactly what we talked about yesterday. If you watched the stream yesterday towards the afternoon, I went out this exact kind of play. Comes back up, they re-attack it. Where's their flat point? It's where shorts get break even. When they get break even, they become market buyers. We absorb it, go back up. Where's the next pain point? Here, boom. Where's the objective? High time frame objectives here. This is the best trade of the day, guys. We've done it. We've done it already. It's done. Been and gone. We filled the gap. We got the move. 90-point move. That's it. Finished for me in terms of where my head's at now. That is the move I was looking for, and we've got that move. Do I need to trade the rest of the day? No. That will be 5 nice green days. Easy peasy. Do we need to sit here anymore? No. With the objectives, it's done. If they're going to keep squeezing, they're going to come for this next liquidity pool. All right, we can see this right here. We'll go to higher time frame. Let's put this back to an hourly. Sorry about this, team. All right, so held point of control, squeeze up, gap filter here. Next place we're going to revisit the edge of this. This was Friday where we broke down from. So remember, if we price over Friday's close and low, which is what we're trying to do now, we're going to come and test the Friday level that we broke down from. Why are we going to test this? Who's here? Whose pain point was here? Buyers, right? Breakout buyers came in here. They stopped out here, got slammed down. Now imagine, I know this is going to seem unusual, but imagine, and this happens, especially with the funds, imagine they held through this whole move from here. This is their pain point. Oh, I'm in so much pain. What happens when they get here? Get me out, break even. Right, so if the market is going to let them out, it's going to come and reprice to this value area low and where the buyers got stuck right here. Basically just in front of 22,971. If it wants to come to where the volume is, it's going to trade to 22,010. This is the old point of control from Friday's session. That will mean a drift higher into it. What will cause a drift higher into it? We talked about this play yesterday. What causes these drift higher with shallow pullbacks? Who remembers me drawing this out yesterday? Who's causing this? Because it's not buyers. This is caused by shorts who keep guessing tops, right? Imagine you are a short in the guessing top play. Guessing top, guessing top, guessing top, blown out, guessing top, blown out, guessing top, blown out, guessing top, blown out, guessing top. Oh, I think I'm right. Nope, you're fucking wrong. Guessing top, blown out, blown out, blown out. These plays here, we went over it yesterday, these grindy days up. This is when shorts are guessing tops. All right, so the way we get up here, if it's going to do it, will not be from buying pressure. It will be from shorts getting tops. That's how we're going to get up here if it's going to do it. All right, it will be a slow, grindy day with some extensions when shorts start to blow out. Thank you, Mindful Matters. Very kind of you. Michael Pope, up 550 on Apex, saving your trading career. I'd love to hear it. I'm not saving your trading career. You are saving your trading career. You have to press buy and sell. You are choosing to turn up each day and learn. Douglas, no, beautiful. Congratulations. Hopefully you grabbed that. Good work. Yes, exactly. Peter Curry answering who's causing it to go higher. It's sellers. It's sellers in pain at those levels. Sellers become the buyers. Yeah, so I know what you mean. It's sellers stopping out. They become the buyers. Exactly. Leron, sellers adding. Exactly. Shervo, these are my flow zone, right? These are proprietary indicators, this whole thing. All right, you get this when you do the course. When you sign up to Learn to Trade with me, it is for everyone that's new. It's a 20-hour on-demand course. All right, it would take you from knowing nothing to very, very advanced levels. I will teach you my playbook. You get the indicators and the Discord, all for a one-time fee of $649. Right, so the link's down below if you want to do the course, if you want the indicators, if you want to be part of the team. All right, so watching ES here, it's cleared out all the supply. So where can it come back to? What's the base it put in this morning? 6,130. It will need to hold 6,130, I'd say, down to 6,127 on the ES for it to hold. That is very similar, really, for us doing a back test all the way back down to here, right? This is where we were participating for the squeeze up. This can come all the way back and back test this. Failure here, we go lower. This is why, in my mind, I'm done right now. I've had no reason to be participating in this right now on a Friday. Doesn't mean you have to have the same opinion. You can trade this however you want to. If it bases, I'll tell you what will be a nice trap. If it bases here for a while and scoops down and reclaims, right, this is the kind of trap that we talk about where we go up, 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 encourage them, and up again. That will be the short trap to go higher. But the main objective, like I've talked about, was the gap fill. The gap fill was this edge here. We've peeked through it, come back underneath. Main objective done. I have way less interest in trading once that low-hanging fruit trade has been and gone. Did I ever use Top Step? Yes, Gary. I've had numerous payouts from Top Step. Mainly at the time I was using Top Step X. I absolutely hate Top Step X, so I haven't traded them for a while. Still got some stuff in there. Maybe I'll do some more Top Step and move them to Ninja Trader. But what I hate about them is that they force you to trade with Top Step X if you want to rotate micros. I think that's bullshit. They're the only firm that do it because they want you to use that platform. It's nonsense. And I also think the indicators on that platform are all broken. The SMAs, the EMAs, and the VWAPs do not work. They will base themselves on how many candles in front are on your chart at the time. That's completely wrong. So you would get bad indication. And for me, with how I trade, I need to make sure that I understand where my VWAPs and my EMAs are. So that's the only reason I moved away from Top Step, really. For me, Tradeovate is the best. Tradeify is the best prop firm in the space right now, by a mile, by an absolute mile. Cheapest firm, if you're looking to scale and rotate, 5, 10, 15, 20 accounts, is Apex. And then, but obviously, you have to be able to be disciplined to get through the trailing drawdown. Top Step's still fantastic, still a great firm. I just don't. It's the only thing I don't like is this whole Top Step X thing. But each their own. It's looking good here. It's looking to retrap to send higher right now. That's what the market wants to do. It's looking to retrap to send higher. I'm not participating in it, but that's what it will want to do. It will want to retrap its sellers in the market for a drift higher. All of the market now green. Tesla 3.6% green. Nvidia almost 1% green here. Meta 1.8% green. Google 1.6% green. Amazon 1.5% green. Microsoft 1.2% green. Apple just under 2% green. Apple still It's a bit iffy here. I mean, it keeps shaping like it might need to come and recheck that 240 level. It's the only thing I don't like here is letting go of 242. So that's what I'd be cautious about on Apple. But the market's all up. That's why I said today I was looking for the move higher. Ideally, we would have given a dip lower first before the move higher. The move that I would have loved would have been this. This here, pop into here. Thanks very much. And then we go up. Cheap buys, anchored view up, trend, demand, old supply becomes demand, right? RBS level, and then up. That would have been a plus scenario for me to get involved in. That's what I really, really wanted. We are trying to build out more liquidity here to go higher. It's trying to trap sellers to move higher right now. But if you're buying this, you are buying very, very high in the session after we've filled the gap. I'd feel way more confident if it gives a bigger flush and absorbs. That's when I think, yeah, these sellers are about to get real stuck. Still a seller now at 950 and a seller at 22,000. Both of those 100 lots. So if they're going to drift higher, that's where they're going to aim for. Give me 2 secs, team. I'm going to get a refill on this coffee. I'll be right back. There we go. So any questions? Hopefully most of you were here yesterday. If you were here yesterday afternoon when I had that little rant about how the market moves based on liquidity, based on pain, based on back testing levels, then you would have understood why we wanted to move higher and how we use the liquidity today. All right, so you can see now I'm risk off now. I don't care, frankly, what the market does here. If I was going to be a buyer here now, I would really prefer to see a major sweep and a soak. I would need to see this kind of play here. This will encourage me to buy. I wouldn't be buying this move down. I'd be looking to see a reclaim level. This is the kind of move where sellers will get trapped. If we're just going to keep drifting, not interested in participating at all. Right, the reason I won't be bidding on a flush, I won't just bid on the flush if we move here, add, is because who's to say it doesn't do that? Right, I also won't be selling tops right now. Won't be selling tops. I think these guys can get cleared out, and that's possibly a trap level here if it really wants to come all the way up here. But we have filled the gap. The objective's done. Market's sort of cooling off a minute while it decides what it wants to do later in the day. So probably comes and sweeps these guys. And then I'm going to watch to see if there's some absorption for a trap, for a play back upside, or if it's a fail. Now, look at ES. What did we say? ES needs to come back and back test 6130 down to 6127. What are we doing now? We're going for that back test. If it doesn't hold that, you might see weakness step into this market. Why are we back testing? Where's people's pain point? That's all you need to think about all the time. If you were stuck the other side of the trade, where would your pain point be? What would encourage you to get in counter trend into a trade? All these things. Start thinking that way, and you can reverse engineer the trade. So that flush on ES then came down to 130. Said it 10 minutes ago before we went away. It can still come down to 127 if it wants. But I want to see a move down and absorption. Really, I'd want to see these wicks taken out here. I'd want to see this now and absorption if I'm thinking about higher prices. That would be a much, much better play, in my opinion. ES under that 40. ES Apple under that 242. The more longer it's under here, the more I'm thinking Apple will want to go and backtest 40s. Much like we're talking about the ES backtesting lower prices, that's kind of what Apple is looking like right now. Tesla looking strong here. So remember, Tesla in a giant range. We talked about it. It has been in a giant range, and it's breaking out of that range now above 410. So any base above 410 can open up a move to 420. If I get a squeeze through 420, you'll be looking for wick above 428 and then 440. All right, so Tesla looking pretty good, especially off bad earnings. That's impressive. Really feels like this market is setting up for new all-time highs next week. Would love a pullback week. Small pullback, maybe Monday, Tuesday. For those who do the course, we'd be looking for that Monday, Tuesday pullback, and then you know what we're looking for. Face rippers, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So at least half of you on the stream have not hit that like button. Do me a favor, absolutely smash it. Hopefully most of you caught the longs with me this morning and you're just sitting pretty right now, not forcing your way into the market, not clicking buttons that you don't need to. Just be smart. Remember, we need to be snipers in the market. That's our job. Don't walk into the market with an AK and start spraying everywhere because you're going to hit innocent people, all right? That's how you need to think of it. You're going to have blood in your hands and you're going to be crying at night. You want to be that sniper that waits, stalks its prey, takes the one shot and kill. So they're trying to flag this to go. ES, new highs here. SPY, new highs. SPY is going to try and move into 609.75s. ES is trying to get a drift up to 6,155 if it can really get going. That's the drift higher. It has some supply into 40. That's the bottom of that range it printed last Friday. Right, so that's the first point, which it keeps tapping into, that 40. Very similar to what we talked about and went over on the hourly chart on the NQ. Right, it's drifting into the bottom of the range where buyers were stuck. If you think about the buyers, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday last week, where we broke down from on Friday last week and Sunday, where are they stuck? That's the bottom of their edge, 38s, 39s, 138, 139. Thank you, Michael Pope. I'm also just going to, you can do this with me. I haven't done it yet. So let's think about what this looked like this morning in terms of this. All right, we've done a 2.618 sigma move. All right, so this has been a very nice move up to here. Very, very nice from this flag breakout. All right, so anywhere buying here without a back test of here, you're just praying that we get a squeeze higher. We are extended right now. You can always use fibs for targets. If you don't understand where the liquidity is, you can always use fibs. They will often give you nice confluence of where the market's looking to trade to. Yes, having one more attempt to get into that 38, 39, 40 to 42 range. The bottom of that Friday breakdown. Whole market green here. NQ the greenest. Why is NQ the greenest percent-wise? Because tech is running the hardest, right? Look at the Mag 7, everything green. Tesla 4%, Nvidia 1%, Meta 2%, Google 1.5%, Amazon 1.5%, Microsoft 0.75%, Apple 1.4%. Tech strong today. Mindful Matters, that's all right, mate. What do you get confused with? There's two ways to use fibs. This is the best way to do it. You're looking at swing points, all right, on any time frame, and you're looking at where it can extend to as a target, and you're looking at where it can pull back to for an entry. Does that make sense? You can do it on any move. So let's say this move this morning, this move here. So if I wanted to measure this move out to here, right, then my swing points would be my extensions into here and a measured move. All right, so this is one move. This is a measured move, partial into that. All right, so notice how it could not get above that. It's funny that that's also the gap. That's not by accident. All right, they measured that all out on purpose. If I was thinking about a pullback, all right, I could go, say, going from here to here. Flags like to do pullbacks into 30s, into red. 50 is value. Deeper pullback is golden pocket. When we come down here, we are thinking about buying rotations back up. And that's the same for any time frame, if you're looking at any time frame at all. So we could go to a daily right now. Probably going to be a bit harder. But let's say I was going from all-time high right now down to this swing low. All right, we're in golden zone. So this is not a great buying opportunity. But if we start to squeeze out upside and I was a swing buyer, so I'd be buying down here this week, I'd be looking to hold for extensions into this and this later in the year. Where to stop it? Just swing points. You're always looking at swing points. So right now, this low created this high. So if you were even doing it in here, right, you'd want absorption to happen in here if you're playing this range for this move here. And then you'd be looking to partial out into these. Even this, let's say before this part happened, we'd be going from here to here, right? This wick to this wick. There's your golden zone pullback. This is a buy extension into the 6-1. Yeah. It's just the range, whatever range you're looking at that you're trying to measure out, wick to wick. That's what you're looking for. So they're still trying to build liquidity here. They're trying to build this. The danger here is that the best move has happened. They are trying to build liquidity for a flag up. They might need to do this before they do it. They might need to encourage more shorts. If they've already feel like they've got enough shorts trapped, they can do a squeeze higher. If they need to trap more shorts, they will come and sweep these lows first, right? And then look to find bids. If their aim now is that, hey, we've done what we need to rotate, then they'll do this. It's all about what the aim is. The reason I'm less interested now is because I feel like the main aim was to fill the gap, which we've done. We're now inside of initial balance, right? So initial balance rules now apply as well. Have to be aware of that. So we can do initial balance rotations. Now, your initial balance today is 160 points. You got a new 5-minute candle here. They are trying to do a flag break. They are trying to do this move right here. You would, if you're taking this, you're very high risk, but you need to partial out here and then hold runners for this move into here. So they're having a reattempt at this high. This is where the pain is up here for shorts if they take that out. Look at Apple. What did we say about Apple? It needs to drift into the 240s. Where are we? 240.7. All right, we're coming right into the level. Actually, this is the high wick we put in yesterday. This is the IB high on Apple right here from yesterday. Can drift lower into 240 exact. So interesting that Apple's pulling back while the market's starting to squeeze. If Apple finds a bid here and turns around, this market can get a little bit explosive. Initial balance is the range of the first 60 minutes in the New York session. Or any session, you can do a new initial balance in Asia. You can do it in any session at all. But 9:30 till 10:30, that's your range. And that's where most traders have operated in for the day, because it's where all the volume occurs. So here's the low of this session. Here's the high. Above this, we trend higher. Below this, we trend lower. And in this, we can build liquidity. Looking good here. It's trying to have a new attempt at that IB high. Just be very aware of failed auctions, right? Failed auctions on days like today can be violent if it's achieved its objective. Honestly, the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm thinking this is just going to keep trying to print to 22,000. But for me to get involved, I will need some form of shorts trapped in this first. I'm not convinced enough shorts are trapped in this. ES now has taken out that 42, all right, 6142. So the next leg up will be to 55s. If it's a failed break, it's going to come lower. So it held 130s like we talked about on the ES and traded up to 42s. So that's a nice trade there. If you scoop that 130 back test of the RBS and held this move, then you're up nice 12 points on ES. Apple still drifting lower. It's coming into those 240s, 240.50 now. VIX just in a tight range today, chopping backwards and forwards in like 20-cent range or so. I'm just not joining this. I know we have a flag here, but for me, I wanted to see this wick here come down to here first and then do this. So here's your IB high. IB rules will apply. Sellers on the tape here, 30s, 35s, and 940s, and then a little bit thin up to 22K. Watching the tape here. So 100 lot up here at 50. He's looking to get filled. 950. Drifting higher towards him. We're very, very high on the week now. Huge weekly candle now. Huge daily candle. Filled the gap. We're into possible supply levels. The maximum I see us going today would be 150. The absolute max. That would be to the top of the Bollinger Band. I very much doubt we get there, but just in case it really wants to put a horrible move on for the shorts, that's where it's going to go. That's 2 sigmas from the 20-day. So that would mean in 1 week, that would mean from last Friday, we've gone from the top Bollinger to opening at the bottom Bollinger on the Monday to back to the top of the Bollinger on the next Friday. That is insanity. Absolute insanity. If you are oversizing in this market, you are either making a lot of money very quick or you are losing a lot of money very quick. It will punish you. The drift higher continues. That flag working out very, very nice. Never came and did what I wanted. There's your flag. I would have liked this here. Would have been better. That's when I know they're trapped. The fact that we left this a little bit ugly. So here's your IB now. So IB rules apply. Do you get an auction or a failed auction now? Remember, 950 is on the book. You've got 100 lot up there. It will want to seek for 950 to come and fill that 100 lot. Morning, Foster Scott. Hope you're good, mate. So watching possible failed auction. Still got 950. Seller at 950 is still on the book. Remember, you are very, very high here. They soak the initial balance. It's the same things. Where was the shorts pain? It was here. Where's the main structure? Here. Right, so it will need to absorb this to go back higher. I don't like that these have been left here. I don't like these moves in general here, but in terms of structure, we have to obey We are in upside, 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 upside until proves otherwise. Apple, 240.20 now. How far down did that come? This is the low of the day. So it's back testing that level. I'm telling you, if it starts failing 240s, it's in trouble. It is in trouble. It will just move lower and lower and lower. It's giving back all its gains. Its whole earning gains have been given back now. All right. Giving everything back on Apple. So Apple needs to hold those 240s here. Here's your back test of the initial balance. Holding the IB for now. Still have that seller at 240. 240. What am I talking about today? You still have that seller at 950. He's still there on the book. 100 lot on the book. He's actually sized down a bit. He's 71 lot. So he probably filled some of that. You can think about rotation if they start letting go. I think this liquidity pool here is going to be key today. How we act in this will be key for the remainder of the day. If we filled the objective and we're going to go into a rotation, I'd be looking for something like this. And then how we act here, key. Do we continue back down, come into this liquidity from the day, end the day there for a rotation to view up? Or do we do something where we come down and then slowly grind all the way back up? Right now, it wants to try and fill this guy at 950. How can I tell he's real? Because he's on the book. He's been on the book for an hour. 69 lot sat there on the book. He's only not real if he pulls his order. He's a limit order and he's been sat there all morning on the book. And then there's 100 lot at 22,000 on the book. This isn't sim. This is all data from CME. He's right there showing me he wants to get filled. He's not going to fake it. He's doing it as a magnet. People seem to get this wrong. They think like, oh, he's there and he's going to spoof. He's got an order like that because he wants the market to come up to him. Book map. Where am I watching this book and orders? I'm watching on Bookmap. You can use anything you want. You can use level 2 and the DOM. Like I said, the problem with the DOM and trying to read time and sales is it moves very quick. You will not see when an order's there and an order's filled and an order's missed. It will just fly through the time and sales really, really quick. There's so much volume being traded right now, you will miss it. Using something visual like Bookmap means you will be able to see when he's there, when he's filled, if he lifts, if he moves, where he moves to, etc., etc. On the DOM, as long as you've got data, right, just scroll up, right? On the DOM, as long as you've got data, scroll up, look at the order at 21,950. There's a 69 lot there as a limit order looking to get filled. Bookmap, is it red and green bubbles? Yeah, it is the red and green bubbles. I don't care about the bubbles. I don't care at all about the bubbles. I only care about the liquidity. All right, so failed breakout here. Coming to back test where we broke out from. Initial balance so far is a failure. This is a failed auction, but the back test like we talked about is here. This level and these liquidity pools are going to be key. They fail this, you get a rotation. If they hold this, you get that move up. Apple held 240. So back tested 240 and held. So Apple and the market doing two completely different things. The market printing highs. Apple this morning has done this and is down here looking to do that now. So if Apple finds strength, it might help this market out. So here's your back test. Where was their pain? That was your break here. This is their pain point here. Buyers need to hold this. If they come under here, Sellers will chase. At this point, they will need a retest to go lower. If they fail to do that, like I talked about, this is the trap move I'd be more interested in if I was thinking about higher prices for the rest of the day. There's no reason that the market has to move higher right now. It's achieved its objectives already. So into that liquidity, into the structure that we built. Yeah, just work your way through the videos, mindful Matt. It's always good to refresh yourself. Even I do the same sometimes. I'll go and watch like my own video and remind me of something. I won't watch anyone else's videos anymore. It's not an arrogant thing. I know how I like to trade, and I know what I want to trade. So I don't want any more noise in my head because there's so many different ways to trade. Yeah, when they've got big size like that, they want to be magnets on the book. They want the market to come towards them. Sometimes they do things like put a huge order above, knowing that the market will drift up, and then they're actually filling. Let's say it's a seller at 22K. All right, puts like a 500 lot there. He knows that the market will want to seek towards that, right? But he'll be selling way before that, and then he'll pull once it gets close. Sometimes you get things like that. Yeah, TR, exactly. Shiny object syndrome. It's the worst thing traders can do. Just keep changing their mind on what they're looking to trade. All right, here's the back test on the IB high on the ES then. All right, Apple now trying to find bids at that 240. We are in a precarious position here. All right, we have tapering here. Think about how the strength of the move today. Let's just see where we're at. Right here. If we start to fail under here, then either trap or you get that backside rotation, backside from here if we get failures. If they hold this, then we're just going to reclaim and keep grinding higher. There is nothing in this yet to say it is a short, right? Because these lows created this high. This is range. But this is a pretty good candle on volume. I would say that. That's the one thing. It can easily be absorbed, especially if ES is willing to hold its IBH, especially if Apple is looking to rotate back towards the highs now after back testing 240 and finding bidders. Yes, exactly, Foster Scott. Exactly. Everything in a little bit of a tight range here, including VIX. So what would sellers need to see? Sellers would need to see a failure into here and a lower low and a continuation for a run to this. And then if I was a seller, I'd be taking a partial into this because at that point, a trap can happen. Here you go. So they're trying to sell back down towards these. How we operate here is key. The bear trap can operate underneath these lows if they're going to do it. If they go on a kick, they don't have to do that, by the way. Like I said, objective was this top of this gray box right here. That was the objective, objective filled. If they want to go into a sell, they can do it. Can easily do that move today. It won't be hard because this is a squeeze. $15 minutes left until you get that new hourly bar. Remember, this low created this high. This is your range. So I can't remember who was asking me about fib. Here is your fib. Here's your golden zone pullback. Technically, that is a buy, right? For those that play fibs, that is a buy, partial into here, partial into 100, partial into the 6-1 extension. Can't remember who asked me that yet earlier about drawing fibs, but there is your fib. Sorry, team. Tired. By the time it gets Friday, I'm so tired. Does anyone else have that? I have to get up so early being on the West Coast. And what I find during the week is I end up getting up earlier and earlier and earlier. Monday's the hardest day for me to get up early. So I'm up at like 5:30. By Thursday and Friday, I'm awake at 4 a.m. And by the time I get to Friday, I'm exhausted. Absolutely exhausted. So I always trade a bit lighter on Friday anyway. Can you use the fib from the top as well? Well, you can, but like, what are you looking for? So if you're going from here, right, you don't know that this is the swing low yet, right? But you could, if you're like, I'm hoping that's the swing low, and if it protects it, then you could use it for an extension. That would be your target. There's no reason to do it from here to here yet necessarily, unless you're confident this is the swing low. You would go from here to here, look for the pullback to buy for the extension. So you're always looking for the structure that's occurred, right? Here's the structure that's occurred here to here. We're in uptrend, so you go from low to high. You would only go from high to low if you were looking at a bigger range. Let's say here, let's say you're looking at this swing point, this high from last week to this week's low, right? You would have wanted sellers to hold this golden zone. They haven't, so the chances of drifting higher is much bigger right now because we're through where sellers should have attacked. On a daily, I'm just talking about from a daily point of view on that. Go carnivore, drop the carbs, keep the insulin low. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Jack, you get up at 4 as well in LA. Yeah, it's a bitch, isn't it? By the time you get to Friday, it's like horrible. And when people want to go out at the weekends, you know, they want to go to a bar or something, I'm just like, no, I want to get in bed. So boring. So boring. I just want to go to bed. I want to get up early, go to the gym, watch some sport this weekend. I'll be watching the Six Nations. The rugby, for those who don't know, be watching the Six Nations. TR, it's 4 p.m. there and you're tired, been up since 7 a.m. 4 p.m. Oh yeah, so you're in UK. Yeah, exactly, Sloth. It's a killer. Thanks, Mindful Matters. No worries, mate. Miguel, get up 4:45 Eastern time to hit the gym. Yeah, see, I would love to be able to do that. I would love to be able to wake up early, hit the gym, you know, get it out the way. I think that's the best way to trade and then sit down focused. So they protected again, protected, and also the protection here. This was IB low on ES, this move here. That was the IB low on ES. So do they fail? Remember, this is where supply is just based on these candles, lower time frame supply. Do they fail here or do they rehold and try again? So is this an attempt to go higher that fails? They put in a lower high there, you get a rotation. But right now, everything is suggesting uptrend until it says otherwise. We are above the initial balance. We held this dip. This was protected. This is where buyers came in before, but you must be selling into this now because you have to respect looking left. Right? This is where sellers came in last time. If they do this, this is where you get your change of character confirmation. Your wife keeps you up. I hate her for that some days, Miguel. That's a strong word. Hate, that's a strong word to use for your wife. Don't let her hear that. Mine would give me a slap if she heard me talking like that. Jack Hudkins, love it when I'm in Hawaii. The market opens at 3. I can't think of anything worse than that. I know PW used to live in Hawaii and get up at 3 o'clock. Fair play to him. Can't give that guy enough credit for getting up at that time for that many years, having gone through what he went through with his brother and stuff. Kudos to him. I know people hate him. He can be loud and brash, but kudos to him for putting that grind in. It is not easy to do that for that many years. And I like that he's giving some other guys a platform at the moment. Like I saw that he had a Nutty Bar on his channel this week and things like that. It's nice to see. Nice to see him giving these guys a platform. So do they put higher low and go again? Looks like they want to go again here. Like we said, that guy at 950, he is still on the book there. He's just sat there. 71 lot, 950, 100 lot, 22K. Still absorbing flow zones. No reason to think short yet. Nothing to say short. This is just drifting higher. You've got a new hourly bar coming, remember, at the top of the hour in 8 minutes, or even less than that now, 7 minutes. And remember that point of control, if it's going to drift to point of control from last Friday, it's 22,010. Yeah, East Coast, amazing time zone for trading. Very jealous. I'm looking forward to one day I will leave America, I think, and move back to Europe. Definitely won't be the UK, but I will move back to Europe, maybe Portugal or Spain, maybe even Italy, who knows? And at that point, I think I'll have a really good time because I will be able to trade London and catch some of those moves, and I'll be able to trade New York. And in between London and New York, I'll be able to go to the gym and go out for lunch and do all the things that I can't do here. Is Bookmap? No, Bookmap's not showing both contracts. When you're looking at liquidity on the book, here's a tip for you. When you're looking at liquidity on the book, you should be looking at the E-mini. Do not look at the E-micro. It does not matter about the E-micro, right? The E-mini is what is moving the book. All right, no matter what market you're looking at, ES, NQ, YM, look at the liquidity for the mini contracts. Don't worry about the micro contracts. Even if you execute on micro, that's absolutely fine. Look at the mini contracts because the whales are not trading micros. They are trading minis. Yeah. Gary Bell, what is depth of point of control? What is depth? Oh, the definition. It's the most volume traded in the previous session. Right, it's the highest volume node from the previous session, or you can have it on the current session. I use previous session. Will tell you where the most volume is traded. So the next day, if we go and retest that area, if we're under it and retesting it, you're looking from a short from it back down. If we're over it and retesting it, you're looking for a long back up, all right, from previous sessions. Or obviously, if we get through a level and come back and hold it, then again, you're looking for continuation trade. So holding initial balance high here for now. Still looking to fill that 950 seller right now. Guys on the book here underneath. A few buyers stacking up, 920, 910. Nothing huge. Can they absorb it for this move into 950 and then into that 22K? That's what they're looking to do. Looking for a reflag and go. But just remember, the longer you're here, the higher we go, the worse this is looking. Right, this is grindy, grindy, grindy. But this is just like what we talked about yesterday. Grindy, 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 grindy. What do I want to get involved in? I want to get involved in this move only if it comes. And it might not come. Shorts are too stupid and keep adding. They're going to get blown out. And the seller at 950 contracts move the price. What do you mean? What do you mean, Camille? Sorry, buddy. Just trying to understand what you mean, and I'll answer it for you. Nice work, Peter. Yeah, great work this week. I know you've been great green every day I can remember this week. Good work. See you Monday. Have a great weekend. Drifting higher here. So here we go. It's going to look for 950 and then 22K. So there's tapping on 950 right here. He's looking to fill him right here. He's still on the book, looking to get filled. There he goes. Filled. All right. So there's your drift for the magnet into 950. Just what we said. So using real liquidity on the book, watching the book. Next big level is at 22K. All right. There's a 99 lot at 22K. So they're going to look to drift up there if they continue to squeeze higher. Remember, this is shorts trapped in the market right now. This is all that's happening. Apple bouncing off that 240, so $1 higher off that 240 now, holding well. Camille, yeah, it's not that it's going to have an impact on price to hold it down, right? That's how a lot of people see it. It's that it's going to have an impact. Think of it as a magnet, all right? The whole market wants to search for liquidity. So all we're doing, looking for buyers, looking for sellers, looking for buyers, looking for sellers, right? So as it comes up and it sees a seller up here, okay, let's go up to him, fill him. Okay, now where can we go down? We come down a little bit, find the buyers. Is there a seller above? Yeah, we're going to go back up to him. That's how the market works. So looking for buyers and sellers. How do I know these are shorts, not longs? What do you mean? I know that shorts are stuck in the market. That's why we're drifting higher. That's literally why we're drifting higher right now. That's just, this type of action is shorts stuck in the market. Ask yourself, are you a buyer in the market up here? Really? You're buying up here, genuine buyer? I don't care about retail. I'm talking about millions of contracts. Or were you a buyer down here? And is this the shorts from here starting to panic and cover? That's what it is. It's shorts covering and getting stuck. It is not buyers in the market. The buyers in the market with volume. Look at this volume day. Look at this volume day. Look at this volume day. They were buying down here. They are not buying up here because they're not fucking stupid like retail. We are stupid. We're idiots. We do silly things. They don't, right? They have parameters where their risk manager tells them, hey, you need to fill 100,000 contracts underneath the price of 21,500 this week. That's your objective. Okay, this is your buy zone. This is not your buy zone, all right? So that's why I know, because they would get an absolute bollocking if they were trying to buy with big size up here, because they are asking to get destroyed. They won't be doing that, all right? The market is drifting higher because people are stuck in the market, and they are probably stuck. It would be swing shorts, some of those same guys, all right, who were short for that move. I'm going to have to zoom out, all right, for that move here. Let's take these off. All right, some of the guys who were swing short here for that breakdown last week, they are forced to cover here. All right, that's what's making it go up. Now, if we build liquidity here next week, this will be more genuine buying because this will be for expansion. You would have to be an absolute flipping psychopath to be trading with big size up here as an institution to try and buy higher when we've moved over 1,000 points on the week. Yeah, over 1,000 already. So don't think about retail. Think about the big guys. You'd love a failed auction, Scott. What, back down? Yeah, to maybe not even for you up. Yeah, maybe like I'd be watching, if you get that rotation, if you actually get it for a move into 6130, anything under that would be a bonus. I mean, they'd have to go so risk off to do that. You'd need major profit taking, but it's not impossible. On the SPY, if you look at the ETF, we're coming right into, is this all-time highs? Fucking hell. SPY drifting into the supply block towards all-time high now. So 609.75, liquidity 610.35, 610.80. If it wants to get going on the ETF, they're just going to run it. And remember, end of month, all right? They might burn some premiums on the options here. Jack, I love it. Yeah. I mean, well, you did, right, what the institutions did. And you have to wonder, you have to just wonder if that was all forced. You know, was that all forced? I don't think any big institutions were really selling on Sunday and Monday. I think maybe some profits, but I think really they were using that as a big buy opportunity. Honestly, that's what they were doing. That was retail panicking out. So continuing to drift. So SPY into a key level here for me. ES can keep drifting a little bit higher. I'm just going to look left and make sure. Yeah, ES can keep going. It's honestly, all-time highs are not out the question today, right now. Shorts are getting cooked here. But look at the type of day. Remember what we said yesterday. These type of days, these grindy days are what frustrate shorts because they keep trying and trying and trying and trying, and eventually they blow out. Yes, Gary, that's the one. That flowzonetrader.com. If you click buy, once you go to the website, if you click buy, it will actually take you through to another page and you can see the whole course curriculum. So you can make sure you know what you're getting so you understand the value you're getting from it. So what's the magnet right now? Probably 22K, right? Whole number. We got a little bit of supply here at 180. 22K, and remember that old point of control, 22,000, and we might as well call it 10. Right, so POC, I'm going to put it on here. Let's do here. This is your POC from last week. All right. Zero reason to be shorting this yet. Yeah, 22K. 99 lot, 22K. There are lots above it, but they're not big. So there's a 17 lot at 22.25, 33 lot at 22.50, a 70 lot at 22,100. Nothing above that right now. Downside, you're looking at 50 lot down at 925, and then it gets a little bit thin. You've got like 25 lots all the way from 925 down to 800. Down to 800. Gary. Yeah, no worries, mate. Honestly, I'm going to tell you something. The reason I have good reads on the market like this is from years of pain. Right? It's from years of me doing things like guessing tops. I think you were asking if it was a short. I can't remember if I think we were here. And you were asking if it was a short because of Apple weakness, and I was saying, and no, it's a shorts trap. That's from years of me trying to force this trade, right? The whole reason I invented and created, I say invented's a bit of a big word, isn't it? Created this strategy with the flow zones, right, is to stop me doing that, right? They're visual representations to stop me doing this. Blue and green to go higher. This box here telling me we're in a bullish trend. Should I be shorting this? No. If I'm shorting this now, I'm guessing the top, right? And I might get blown out. Right, so they're to stop me doing the mistakes. So that's why I built them, and then the course will teach you how not to get yourself stuck like I have for years. There you go, Foster Scott. Alex has kept me out of so many bad trades. I keep myself out of it. It helps being in the chat, like saying everything loud. It makes it real. You know, it makes it real saying things loud. If I'm saying you can't be taking this short, it helps me not take it short. Don't get me wrong. There is a little devil on my shoulder being like, slam this short for this move here. Of course. But that would be guessing. That would be going against all my rules. It would be going against market structure. Right? Structure, do, saying to me it wants to go upside right now. Until we break underneath this. And really until we break underneath this. And even then, we're going to attack this if we do it, and then I'm very aware of that move there. Right, so devil on my shoulder telling me, that's why I put the blue and green flow zones in, telling me don't flipping try it. Even if it works out. This is the big thing that traders get wrong. They take a trade which is not a viable setup, and they make massive money out of it, and it reinforces a bad habit. Yeah, reinforces it. It's like when you're a kid, and your mum or your dad, they ask you, did you steal that cookie out the jar? And you got chocolate all over your face. And you go, no, wasn't me. And for some reason, you get away with it. All right, the next day, what are you going to do? You're going to steal and you're going to lie, and you're going to steal and you're going to lie, and you're reinforcing that habit of doing something bad. It's exactly the same with this. Same as moving a stop. You just keep moving your stop and getting away with it. You're going to reinforce it. You keep doubling down and dollar cost averaging into a loser. You're going to reinforce a bad habit. Miguel, yesterday rant was a smack on the hand for my bad habit. Good. I'm glad it was, and it's never directed at anyone either. Like, I want you guys to do well. I want to do well. This whole competitive thing in this community, and I don't mean in the flow zone community, I mean in the bigger trading community, it's fucking bullshit. It's, sorry for my French, but it's bullshit. There's enough room for every single trader to do well. Yes, it's a zero-sum game when we do well, someone else is losing, but it doesn't need to be traders that we know. You know, we're trading with and against huge order flow. Watching this now, if they start killing this, all right, if they start to shift structure here, watching the ES tapped into key level, SPY tapped into that 609. It's nothing bearish yet, but I'm just watching the volume here, watching if they want to start killing it. Do I use RSI or MACD indicators? I don't, Jonathan. I don't use them, but they work. They work. I'm not a person that will tell you they don't work. It's just not what I use. Everything I do is EMA and volume based. It's all I care about because I'm looking for trend and I'm looking for volume. Keep them coming. I got you, Foster. Swear more. All right, so Foster Scott might get his failed auction if this starts to get a little washy here. Book's thinned out a little bit above. Still got that big seller at 22,000, but into that, it's thinned out a little bit. So maybe they're expecting a little bit of a dump down here. Could be a 3-drive kind of move here for lower prices. Maybe a wash down into 90s is possible. We will see. Time will tell if it gets under IB, and then we attack this into 93. And then these guys here look kind of ripe to me. All right, these guys here. If I was the market maker in this, I would do something like this. That's what I would do. I'd be like, I want to punish late bulls and come down. But if too many shorts are still stuck in this, if they feel like they haven't blown out, they won't need to do it. If they need to trap more shorts and punish late bulls, they will do that move. That's what I'd be looking to do. I'd be looking at how can I take these guys out and then move back upside. In this trend, these guys who have chased. Remember, smart money was long earlier in the week, and we were buying here for this move. This has gone beyond where I wanted it to go. This is where I wanted it to go. So I was taking profit into there, so we could have had another 50 points if we held on. So far, they're just holding absolutely everything. No reason to short yet. Marek, yeah, it's gone because for some reason, I think because I'm not an American citizen, every form of identity that I'm providing to Google to show where I live, they keep saying is not right. And I've given them a W-9 with my business name, and they're saying, well, that's not the name on your passport. Yeah, because the W-9 is in my business, which is Flowzone. So until I figure it out, it can't come back, which is super frustrating. I don't really want to change it all because I run it as a business. I don't want to have to use Google and YouTube on my UK account, but if I have to, I have to. That would be the easy fix. So I'm in talks with them. I emailed them again yesterday, provided more data. So hopefully it will come back. I was hoping it'd be done by today. TR, yeah. Change my actual name to Flowzone. Largest buyer sitting at 920. Yep, 55 lot down there at 920. Exactly, Camille. And you can see, if you're looking, he came in on the market about 20 minutes ago. He joined in, sat there waiting to be filled. Miguel, my bad habit is if I miss a big candle, like a 20 to 40 point, I would feel like I missed out and then try and catch the next candle either up or down. Blown so many accounts that way, doing that crap. doing a brain set. Feel like a crackhead now. What? So all you got to do, if you miss the big expansive candle, just wait for it to come back in. So if you were playing this and you missed this, wait for that pullback to hold, either absorb this or then rejoin for the move up. Yeah, not necessarily in this one today, but just in general, that's what you'd be looking to do. So now, starting to try and build out more liquidity for that search higher in towards here. That's what it's trying to do. If it fails these highs and gets stuck under here, then we're going to do this move down here. Remember, this created this right now. On a higher time frame, on like a 5 minute, like if I go to here, do you know what? It's even easier to see it here. Let's do this. So this low created this high. All the time we're protecting this low in here around 38. Technically we're bullish. If we get below that and start rejecting, we can start washing. Like I say, every day, line charts will make it easy. You can go to a 5 minute. Look what it needs to protect on a 5 minute. It's got way, way, way to come back and hold. Yes, not far from that sort of whole number of 150 either. Yeah, ESNQ very different today. You know, ES is not far from all-time highs. It's had relative strength over the last few weeks. Tech having a better day today. Apple, though, giving back a lot of gains, right? Apple, this will be the second retest of 240 now. All right, so it's doing gap up. And let me do this right way. Gap up, fail, all the way down, back test, back test. Now, does it hold this for that spring? Does it put in that double bottom W look on Apple? Or is it going to do lower low and start getting heavy? Remember, Apple beat, but it had big misses. Declining iPhone sales, declining wearables, declining home stuff, declining in Asia. The only thing it beat on were the Macs themselves and the iPads. So it's sort of a mixed bag there. Foster Scott says, prior to Algobox, I was an ICT enthusiast from 2016 when Huddleston first launched his first and only mentorship ever to be offered. Yeah, now I don't know if you've seen what he's done now. Now he's got a Telegram channel. Hilarious. He doesn't want to come on YouTube and Twitter because he's getting bashed and because he's been caught. So now he's gone to Telegram, hoping to catch people there. Yeah, like what I'd say, like he has some good teachings. It's not that all his teachings are bad, but they are regurgitations of other people's teachings. He hasn't invented anything. Where I have an issue is the lies. The lies are just ridiculous. Like, do algorithms control the market? Yes. Is it one algorithm controlling the market? No. Is it his? Don't be fucking ridiculous. No, it's not his. All right. It's numerous algorithms employed by numerous huge banks and hedge funds to control their liquidity, to process at speeds that we can't fathom. That's all it is. Most of the algorithms are based, whether you believe it or not, on moving averages and VWAPs. If you speak to any trader, all right, who's trading volume, they will be told that they need to execute X amount of trades on a certain position, whether that be on a common stock like a Tesla or whatever, or whether that be on the market itself. And that position will be judged whether they bought good value based on that price of VWAP. That is how most of them are judged by their managers. Yeah, if Apple holds up, you think the market will rip? Yeah, it's a good chance, but it's starting to die under 240 already. Brizone 11. Do I think ES follows the NQ or the other way around, or is one forecast, if you will? I don't think either, really. I think that they can play together tight, but what you got to understand is they are different markets. All right, so the NQ is much, much heavier tech based. It holds an extra 20%. If you think about a pie, all right, 60% is tech in the NQ, 40% in the ES. ES has things like financials, like the banks more in healthcare, all these things. So When ES is really bullish, the broader spectrum of the market is very bullish. If tech is heavier on the day, NQ will be weaker. Yeah, it will have relative weakness. So on a day like today, you've got a bit of a mixed bag on Apple, right? Apple and Microsoft today not holding up. They're green, but they're not holding their pre-market gains. If Apple was absolutely pumping today, right, NQ would be on an absolute ripper. So they're seeing here if they can trap more in. If they're going to get failures, they're going to do this here. All right, if they cannot get above this, they're going to get failures down here. Interesting position here. How many shorts come in and chase this? Or does it give a big expansive move here and just let go? Apple is looking a little bit ugly to me. All right, that can really drag the market down if it can't reclaim. Really drag it down. And the market will then have a chance to move for those stops. Remember, if the market starts failing, we're going to move to these stops all the way down here is possible. Definitely to here and possibly to here. If it fails, it can still keep flagging for this move higher. But if it fails down here, then the probable move will be this. Everything really is hinging on how this market responds to tech right now. Has it done enough? Has it completed its move? ES coming for a back test of that 43. All right, so go to a 5-minute on ES. That's where we broke out from. Very similar to the Qs. Qs are looking to hold 36s or so. Yeah, I would. Margin call's right up there. Margin call or big short for me. I do like the big short. Wolf of Wall Street, although it doesn't explain the market at all, but I do love that film. Now, I've read his book as well. Interesting cat. I think I would have been a monster back in the day if I was allowed to sell pink sheets the way he did. Would have been fun. I can't imagine trading in those times. Would have been a lot of fun. I've got a feeling a flush is coming soon. Even if it's absorbed, I've got a feeling a flush is coming soon. I'm watching this very tempting here. Do they start breaking down underneath the initial balance? That's what I'm wondering. Or are they going to protect it? Apple now a point under 139. Apple is giving it all back. It is giving it all back. That is not a good look. Everything else holding up pretty well. Tesla 4% up. Nvidia 2.2% up. Meta just under 2% up. Google 1.7% up. Amazon 1.7% up. Microsoft 0.25%. Apple 0.75%. It's trying to hold on to some key positions here. If it keeps fading, the market will be in trouble. I just feel like a flush is coming, even if they retrap. It feels like it's what the market's looking to do here. It's looking for that flush. Here you go. I'm in this, very small, scalping away. For this breakdown back to IB, covering a little bit here. And then if hopefully it comes lower and I can think about a long, if I'm going to be a bit naughty and trade later. The lower the better. I'd like to come out under 870. I'd like to see a rotation under 870. Watching the initial balance. So this is that trade into the IB high. Notice how bids came in at the IB high here. At this level, at the IB high. So it was very small size for a little wash into there, feeling like they had to at least clear this. And if I get lucky, it does this. But counter trend, small size. When I say small size, I mean flipping tiny. Right? Flipping tiny, mate. Let's think about this. Yeah, so protecting. Can still trade higher here. Definitely can. Yeah, exactly, Steve. Exactly what it was. Exactly what it was. Just on one of my smaller accounts. Had a pretty good month. Don't want to give this month up. If I trade like this all year, it's going to be a fantastic year. 1 month down, solid month in the book. Yeah, I mean, I will, if this firmed up and really started to look heavy, I don't mind adding like much heavier, but counter trend, nothing confirmed yet, but it was just showing me that it at least wanted to go and sweep those guys. I have to be thinking about legs. So top here, failed to reclaim this. So buyers up here are stuck. This is showing me they're stuck. There's your flag. There's the rotation down. Ideally, something like this. They need to let go of this with conviction. Apple, again, heavy. The one thing I'm slightly concerned at is the timing of it. If Apple finds bids, it's going to be a problem. All depends what I'm trading, Camille. When I'm trading the 150Ks, my starter is 1 mini, and I'll size up to 3. When I'm trading micros, normally my starter is like 3, and I'll size up to 12 if I'm trading like the 50K accounts. It all depends what account and size I'm trading. And it also depends on the ATR. The ATR is massive. I size down. I'm not playing like 1 mini when the ATR is like 50, 60 points. 150Ks, I'm trading, always trading minis. I'm trading 50Ks, I'm trading micros. If you're trading minis on 50Ks, I think you're asking for it, especially in this market. So holding the initial balance there. Worried I got a sore throat here. Holding the initial balance there. Let's just think about this. Break of one trend. Tapering across to the next trend. This is where we're at right now. Right, so some tapering. If we go backside, they can do a deeper roll. If they want to hold this, they can go for a pump all the way back up. Technically, we're bullish above the initial balance. We have the chance of a trend day. Underneath the initial balance, you have the chance of a rotation back towards VWAP. It's the common trade. If the IB fails, we do a rotational trade. If they have trapped buyers above here, we come back. What I will be observing is this right here, the edge of this gap. Remember, this is the gap fill. Starting to break down here into those deeper flow zones, towards the edge of that gap. A buyer at 20 here. Apple sub 239 now. Here it goes. Here it goes. Can we get that wash? It'd be really nice. Boom! Come on, come down to 94s. 94s would be ideal, somewhere around there. Watching ES into IB high. Got to be very careful. If they bounce IB high here, has a chance to print higher. I'll be right back. I'm going to go to the toilet. we at here? So ES holding that IBH. Be careful if it protects this low here on the Qs, right? This is where it can protect. This is your gap as well. So if they want to just do this, they can. Ideally, I'd like it to come into here first, right? I'd love a bear trap under here, but I might be asking for too much, which is very, very possible. But that's what I would like. I'd like it to drift into that kind of area. Need some more water. Looking good. We're looking good here, team. Looking good here. Here we go. Come on. Want to come into at least 900, under 900, come and sweep those stops. Would be ideal. All right, it would be ideal. Might not give us ideal. Remember, we are still above the initial balance on the ES. We're still there or thereabouts. We are protecting this area here. This is where buyers came in earlier. We need, well, we would like to see it into here. And then under here, I'm going to be very cautious about this move. If it protects this, all right, need to be careful about that. If ES can let go, looks good. Problem again, Apple. I don't like that Apple is due to find a bid at some point. That worries me immensely. I would like to just see a wash here. Come and slam it down, run out all the buyers, fill me some positions, and then I can think about if and when I might want to get long, if at all. Probably not at all now, looking at the time. Do not want it to keep protecting that low. All the time it keeps protecting that low is problematic. ES banging back into the IBH here. Looks like it wants to do that move. It's getting very, very close. They're trying to protect it. They're looking for that move down here. Buyers at 900 right now, 50 lot. Good team, looking good. So even catching this counter trend today. I want to see it run down here. We want to see it run down into these guys, looking for covers into these guys ideally. You can cover a bit here for this break of structure. We're looking for a move into these guys. Ultimately, if it rejects IB, we'd really like a move into VWAP. In fact, what I'm going to just quickly check just in case is let's run a VWAP off the 930 print. 930U. Okay, so I'm gonna, that makes sense as well. I'm gonna watch this level here, which is also this. This is average buying on the day. So average buying volume on the day right now is at 882. You need to see initial balance reject here. I will not be holding this if it starts to reclaim. Already locked some money in on this, but I would like lower. But if it starts to reclaim, if ES holds, I'm not going to hold this. Above 28, I'm not going to hold it. It can squeeze up higher. I can always think about re-adding if I really want. So stop now in the money at 29s. I know that's tight, but I also know I'm counter trend technically. Can always re-add if I want to later. There you go, stop me out there on the runners. Can still fade. It can easily fade. I can always re-add it back in, but I'm watching ES protect its IBH right now, so I'm being very cautious on a Friday. But it would be nice to see something like this still. But the fact that it's protecting this is speaking volumes to me right now. Remember, if we move to a higher time frame, it's still very, very bullish. Right? Still super bullish on a 5-minute. Okay. That could have been the pullback for them to absorb if they really want to. And remember, we're only half an hour away from lunch. Still think this should sell lower, but it can do what it wants. Watching this volume exchange down here. Like I said, can always get back in. Rejecting flow zones here. Protecting that low's done well there. Quick look at Apple again. Yeah, Apple with its first 5-minute green bar for a while. Minutes left, but it's looking good here. Apple for a bid. Is that off previous day open? Previous day close. So trying to find a bid off previous day close here on Apple. So it's closed the gap. Apple gapped up and it's closed the gap. Come all the way up, all the way back down, sorry, and close the gap. So Apple will be looking for a reclaim of 240, 240.50 would be back inside the initial balance and previous day high. If it reclaims that, it can go back to VWAP. And technically still in a downtrend, but it's probably fulfilled its objective of closing the gap here on Apple. So if they, like I said, the reason I was concerned is that Apple was due to find a bid. Oh my gosh. Maybe a bear flag building here underneath. This could be really good, actually. Starts to really want to let go. Again, your counter trend on the day, so you'd just be looking for this. You'd have to partial, 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 and partial if you're going to take it. It's tricky just given what else is going on in the market right now. Seller is still at 22K, still up there, 115 lot. This bear flag is trying to play out. They are trying to play out, but it is counter trend. There you go. So rejoining this bear flag, looking for that wash now. Little partial underneath. Here we go. Can we go and attack those stops? Looking good here, team. Like I said, don't mind getting back involved. See how careful I am. Protect the profit and get back involved once it proves to me. Yeah, I'd love to do that, Jack. Totally. Remind me where you are. Are you in Orange County or Long Beach? I forget where you are. Oh, you're in Santa Monica? Yeah, I'd love to do that. Definitely. Definitely, definitely. Hit me up on Twitter on X at Flowzone Trader. Drop me a direct message or Instagram, either or. ES reabsorbing here. Still holding the initial balance. Apple trying to close with a 5-minute bar high. That's what it wants to do. Oh my God. I better not be getting ill. I will be fuming if I get ill. Let me grab some water. My throat is a little sore. Okay, just remember these shorts we've been taking here are counter trend. They're a technical counter trend short. Nothing has confirmed really. I mean, we are in lower time frame short, but we are protecting this low. This low created this high. You have to be careful. All right, I would much rather think about longs if they come and sweep this out to do this move here. This would be a potential long back up for me. But you're counter trend short here, so do not overstay your welcome. You'll notice I stopped out here on the first trade, so I was breaking down this, partial, 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 stopped out, re-entered, partial. Right, don't overstate your welcome. Be careful with your positioning and sizing today, please, especially on the counter trend. But this is looking better here for you. You need to see a breaker structure. Remember, this is the gap. The gray box here is the gap. If they protect that gap, it's problematic. So 900 whole number, ES back into its IB. Watch your ATR as well. It might increase here if it starts to break down or catches enough people. Is Apple trying to find a bid? This is what we talked about. This is the worry. If Apple finds the bid, it's the worry. Here's a breakdown looking good. Looking for a little bit more there into these wicks looking left. I'm looking to fill into these wicks looking left here. I need it to break under 900 with some volume and conviction. Yes, starting to let go. It'd be really nice if Apple rejected up here just to help the market a little bit. So looking for a cover in towards 94, 95, and then looking for a cover even deeper if it will give it. If 900 doesn't stay heavy, I'm going to be very, very cautious here. I'm building out a new channel. Let's show you new channel. Looking better here, team. Need 900 to stay heavy. So remember, this blue line is your anchored VWAP. Into here, you have liquidity here. All right, this is first pain point for bulls. It will want to come and drive into this to create pain. All these levels that I'm marking now, these can be bear trap levels as well. All right, just be aware of that. These can be bear trap levels. This is ideal if it can get into any of these levels down here. And obviously that blue line, that anchored VWAP. All right, so the closer we get, the less good your risk reward becomes. I would want to see Apple reject 240 here. Create a new bear flag on like an M5, M10 for a trade lower. You cannot see grey box. This right here. Do I need to... How do I grab this box? You see it here? That box there? I just don't put it too far up because it's too coloured. But that grey box there, that's the top side of the gap. It's still looking good. So we got the longs in the morning. We've shifted to some counter trend shorts here. Harder trade. This is a harder trade for sure, taking these shorts. But there is liquidity to aim for that we have marked out. And this anchored VWAP and then VWAP down here. Remember, we fulfilled obligation. We filled gap. Didn't get to Friday's point of control from last week. But we went far off. Can still get there later in the day if it wants. This can be an H1 pullback leg. Can definitely just be an H1 pullback leg. So we're into value area high here, really. Failure of value area high. Failure of, let's call it like 90s. Gets pretty thin pretty quick down to 800. There's a 100-point move here if it doesn't hold these levels here. It doesn't absorb this. This is a very quick move. Apple rejecting 240. That's what we want to see. I want to see that. Nice. Looking good here. So TP1 here. You've just tagged it. So this guy can come. TP1 hit. So now you're looking anchored VWAP. 885. And this guy here. Let's move this along for you. Looking good, team. Let's go. All right, partial into your anchor VWAP here, please. And then into 73s and 69s. And remember, it gets thin here volume-wise. Once we get under here, all right, anything like this, this is covering. You are not adding into this move. Hold runners because it can just snap all the way down here. It is possible. It's thin. Looking at the volume, it is thin. Gets very thin in from 65 to 40. Very, very thin. Here you go. So anchored VWAP now tagged for you. So now you're looking partials into these. It's our second big winner of the day. Congratulations, everyone that's in this short with me. So even when in doubt, we shifted to a sell signal. Sell signal. Not in multi-time frame. We're just in lower time frame sell, because this, right, if we think about this, can be a flag for the H1 to go higher, right? And this is just a pullback leg, which is why I'm smaller size and it's a counter trend leg. So trying to find bids here off the anchored VWAP. Remember, if we start reclaiming here, you should not be aggressively attacking this here, because this pullback leg can finish and reclaim. Right, so you should be holding for lower. You shouldn't be reattacking this with size unless it builds and fails and gives you something to risk off. This is a nice trade. Like even this trade here has offered you, what, 40, 50 points. I'm pretty sure Foster Scott would be in this. Did anyone else take this? Hopefully some of you did. Nice team. Yeah, I knew you'd be in it. I knew you'd be in it. You love your rotational plays. Nice Aid, nice Jonathan, nice Ramos, nice Steve, nice Thumper, Array. So I said I wasn't going to take another trade, but I did. So it was just too good not to take. It was too good. This was the clue for me up here. Again, think about yesterday. This was the clue. Buyers chased up here. Never allowed them back through here. And once we failed this, this was like, okay, we're moving down now. All right, so once we do something like this, I'll be thinking about, is this going to go back all the way upside? If we stay heavy here, then a rotational play back to IB low is not out the question. It's unlikely, but it's not out the question. Once we come under here, I'll be thinking about reclaims or a return back upside. Likely, I won't be trading it because there's only 15 minutes left in this session and I'm not sticking around for Friday afternoon. Khalees got it. Yeah, that's all right, BU. It's fine not to counter trend like on the day. The easy, like we said, the easier trades today were these longs. But once we started breaking down, right, this became high probability. So I couldn't resist taking a bit of this. So these are your next targets. So we've taken the anchored view up. Next target would be into 73s and then 69s. And then anything under that is a bit of a bonus. Yeah, nice, Jeff. 20 points. Apple trying to reclaim again. So first it rejected 240, now having another attempt up here. So watching that carefully. Reclaim of initial balance low on Apple and previous day high will be a problem for the market. Squeeze relief is then very, very probable on Apple. Remember, Apple has filled its gap, had a huge gap up overnight off the earnings. So Apple was gapped up to 248 and it just closed its gap to 238. So Apple dropped 10 points today. Still in continuation lower here. Just remember, your price is getting worse and worse. We were entering up here, right? So you have to be careful on reclaims. Be very, very careful. It still looks good. There's still liquidity it can search for. For sure is liquidity it can search for. If you look at the hourly chart, you'll see what I mean about the volume. And watch this here on the left. This is your value area high. Everything above this is basically above the initial balance is a failure. It needs to hold value area high. Look how thin this volume gets in here. So failure under here, we can drop down to here pretty quick, right? Which is why I think they'll want to trap and go. They really won't want to drop back down into here. But if they do, That is a back test. That can still be an H1, H4 flag for next week. I'm absolutely fine with it doing that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, BU. He made some money. I mean, he might not have been short. He might have been long and selling there. He might, maybe he's short and thinking about covering. My guess would be he was long Monday, Tuesday, and he was selling up there. That would be my guess. So you got to think, if you were long Monday, Tuesday, right? If you were long Monday, Tuesday, long, you're probably taking some profit into the weekend and then letting it do this next week, and then maybe can re-attack for this move. So let's start to try and reclaim here. It's in its channel, but like I said, don't be adding into these aggressively. Apple starting to go back to 240. All right, it is a battleground here. You are still technically in lower lows. Remember, this is where you broke down from. This block here is important. This is where sellers are. Reclaim of this area is a problem. Stay heavy for this area. This is potential. Got to think that feels like low-hanging fruit down there to go and attack. It really does feel like it should just go and attack that, but who flipping knows in a Friday market? Here it goes. Is it going to break down here? Can it break down here on a bear flag? Can it make a new bear flag and go and attack these guys? Needs to break under sort of 90, 89, 90s here, where that white bar is. It needs to let go of that white bar. That's where the buyers came in, right here. 97s or so. Under here, I would say looks a little bit better to sweep this, and their stops can allow that to happen. If it holds this, this is where I'd be very, very cautious about that move. If these buyers get liquidated, their pain point is here. If we do this, they will sell as their pain point to here. They will sell to here. If they hold this, short's pain point is here, and then the squeeze is on back up. Every single bar is important. Understanding where stops are on those bars, on those transitions. They held that white box. See this white box? They're trying to hold this box right here. And this is also the edge of the gap. Remember, this is the edge of the gap. New week opening gap. Whatever you want to call it. Sunday to Monday gap. This is battlegrounds now. All right, they're going to battle from here to here to here and here. This is battlegrounds. What happens here will be important to dictate the next move. Hopefully, if you're in this from like here or here or here or here, so that you can just be stress-free right now. Starting to break down. Market starting to break down. ES looking very, very heavy. You look good for your rotation back to VWAP here, Mr. Foster Scott. IB high to VWAP. Very, very close now for you. Remember, NQ is basically trying to do it. The anchor VWAP is here. A bigger move to VWAP will be all the way down here. Let's just check the QQQ. Apple looking good now as well. So you've got alignment starting to take place. QQQ needs to come down to 59.12 for it to do it. So this is an absolute battleground here. Just under 10 minutes at 7 minutes left till lunch. Remember, in that time, you're going to get that new bar, that new hourly bar. Think about this value area high. Think about your IB high. Think about your positioning. What leg are you in? You're in a pullback leg here. Does this leg start to turn? If this leg starts to turn, what are we going to do? We're going to attack the seller's stops, right? If this leg starts to turn, we go back upside on a squeeze to attack the seller's stops. This is a pullback leg on an hourly chart right now. Move this down for you, sorry. These sellers starting to stop out now. Pain is going to start to come into this market, especially if they reprice above these levels up here. They can, come on, they can reprice up here. This is a problem, right? This is a problem. This here is a problem if they hold and reprice. This is your pullback leg. Just a reminder of what this would look like on a higher time frame. We think about this low of the morning to this high, coming back into this level. Here is your flag, right? So if they reclaim this lower time frame shift, which can happen up here, we'll try and help it move back to upside, right? That's why I was saying this is counter trend. The short is a counter trend. When I'm saying it's counter trend, I'm not saying like I'm trying to short in here. You have not caught me trying to short in here. The counter trend is not the pro trend. The pro trend is higher. The counter trend is for the pullback leg. Does that make sense to everyone? It needs to stay heavy versus IBH, basically. What a great bloody week. What a great week and a great month. Can we remain this great? If action stays like this for the rest of the year, we're going to have a fun time on stream, guys. We're going to make so much money on this stream. This can be clean price. I found price action this week so clean. The amount of traders I see moaning and bitching about this price action makes me laugh. They all have one thing in common. They learned from one man. So I think price action's been really good. Really, really good. Really easy to understand and get in line with. You need a bit of patience. So still rejecting, still looking good. I'd be cautious though. I'm going to be honest. This is the bigger pool. This is important. If they've made buyers try once, buyers try twice, and they can wash this, it would be very nice. But I'm cautious now, especially given time of day. It becomes less and less nice, especially with this old gap. There's so many things going on here in one place. Mindful matters. I mean, it's not necessarily an expectation. He's on the book there. We might well have achieved everything we want to achieve today. So it certainly doesn't have to do that. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? I don't know. I really, really don't know. Like at the moment, it doesn't feel like a necessarily, I'd say, a probable move. Yeah, SPY just hit its VWAP. ES didn't quite hit it, but the SPY did. Still feels good for a wash down here. It's just whether they can really get involved here for the push. Timing's not easy here with what's going on in the actual mag. But SPY has done its move, all right? SPY failed 610. We talked about that 610 level. Failed. It hit high, I think, of 99, 609.96. Then failed its initial balance, came down, tagged VWAP. ES got close to VWAP. ES's VWAP is 13125. I got it hit 13325. So it still gets 5 points. It's trying to bang on the door of its IBH right now. Apple is trying to reclaim 239. It's not at that 240, but like I said, I'd be very cautious here because if this pullback ends, it has the chance to go higher. How it acts with this liquidity is important, all right? I would much rather this move here. Not only for this short, I also think this opens the door for this better. But you can only trade what's in front of you. The market at the moment is just building liquidity here. Same as it did here. Look how it needed to build it here to do this. Right now it's building it here. It swept this. It has not swept these. It hasn't felt the need to come down here yet. So if all it needs to do is sweep this and it feels like enough shorts are trapped, a reclaim of IB, this is possible. Otherwise, just build out liquidity here and watch it very carefully. You're coming very close to lunch now as well. 1 minute away from lunch. Like, I'm not executing trades here into lunch. It'd be funny if they just do something drastic on this new hourly bar. Idris, it's going to get better than this later this year. Yeah, flipping hope so, mate. I mean, I'm not complaining even if it's like this every day. I think this is been good, but if it gets even better, I don't care if we go on a big pump or a big dump. I don't care what we do. I'm here for it. On ES on that downtrend from the high. Well, it depends what time frame you're looking at. If you look at ES on a 5 minute, it left a 5 minute wick, big wick up there at the top. Not big, but like a good few points. Is ES at the top of a Bollinger? On a 1 hour, I only use the Bollingers on the daily. I don't look at the 1 hour. Yeah, on a 1 minute it didn't, but like I said, you have to look at the chart beyond a 1 minute. Still underneath its IB high here. You're into a new hourly bar. You're under point of control right now. So if they keep failing this POC, I'll move that for a second. If you keep failing POC, which is sort of 910 or so, be looking for a move down to that hourly low. If they reclaim it, reclaim IB8, you'd be looking for a move transition back to 937, and a squeeze through that would be back to the highs. And that is me done for the session, for the week. I'm not going to trade this. What I keep saying, what would I like to see? I'd like to see that shift lower and clean up these. I'd love to see this play out, right? And then really, I'd love to see something like this for the afternoon. Again, it does get a little thin under here. So if it starts failing this, a rotation back to 800 down here becomes very, very possible. But this is my preferred move, this. But I'm not going to be here for it, all right? It would have had to have done that before lunch. I'm definitely not trading Friday afternoon, end of the month. Just exposing yourselves to so much option flow, you know? I'll be back Monday, same time, doing the same thing, playing the same setups, boring as it is. Have a great weekend, everyone. I'm going to be watching the rugby all weekend. Should be good. Hopefully England get off to a good start in the Six Nations against Ireland. And hopefully Arsenal slap Man City. And then I'll be in a good mood for Monday. You know, that would make the week perfect. No worries, everyone. Have a great weekend. Guys in Discord, I will pop in later. We'll have a little chat, make sure we understand where the market is. I'll keep my eye on it, but I won't be actively trading this afternoon. Well done, everyone. What a fantastic week. Hopefully lots of you have made money with me on stream. Want to help grow the channel? Please, by all means, share it with your mates. Share it on your Instagram or Twitter, whatever you're using. Always appreciated. Peace and love. Be kind to each other. Use hard stops. You know the score.